Okay, so I made a video in the middle of the night, I guess, after I saw the debut of Zion, and those were my initial thoughts from what I saw in the game. Those were, like fresh perspectives that I had, and now with some time to sit on, what I saw last night, and some time to marinate with it a little bit. I have to say this. I think the kid is incredibly talented. He wouldn't be in his position if he wasn't. But I do have to say this. People have a tendency to become prisoner of the moment. They have a tendency to fall in love with players. They have a tendency to just get swept away with the wave. And then when the wave stops, that's just it. Like, it's kind of like the Jeremy Lin thing. Like, I was excited to see Jeremy Lin play the way he was because nobody expected this guy to just, start and fucking play all-star level basketball. So, but it was a wave. It was a short-lived wave. He played well for the rest of the season, but it was like that one stretch where he was beating these teams. He beat Kobe. I believe he might have beat LeBron. Jeremy Lin went crazy. And I think right now, this feels like the insanity surrounding Jeremy Lin times 10. And I'm not saying the kid can't keep it up. I'm saying we don't know if this kid can keep it up because his weight is still an issue. You're talking about going up against some of the best athletes on the planet, and Zion is one of the best athletes on the planet, but he also has an unfortunate body type, and that could pose an issue. And it's not me wishing bad luck on the kid. I wish nothing but the greatest for the kid. I really do hope that he's able to get it under control, and And I thought last night he took advantage of some pretty bad. To be honest, the Spurs is just a bad team, and he took advantage of that. And like I said, that's what great players are supposed to do. You win the games. Let me stop there because they did lose, but he didn't play, I guess, all that much. But you're supposed to take advantage of the opponents that you should be taking advantage of. And he did that last night. Now, I believe if he's able to get out on the floor for 30-plus minutes, I believe he could beat some of those really bad opponents. Zion has a level of energetic burst that it can be too much for teams that aren't ready for it. It can be too much for teams that can't game plan against it, don't have the players to defend against it. It could be too much. But let's get going.
And last night you saw all of it. You saw the size, the burst, you heard the MVP chants, 17 point.
Yeah, let's listen to the fans because the fans obviously know what it is. The fans that at the beginning of the year, when the first All-Star ballot came out, they voted Taco Fall, Alex Caruso, and Carmelo Anthony as all-star potential all-star players. Let's listen to the fans. The fans know what it is. Let's listen to them.
The burst in the fourth, even a little controversy. They pulled him out. You saw a kid. That's what a phenom looks like when a phenom is not in good shape. He's not in great shape right now. It was a dud in the first half. He looked tired. He was passive. The game was fast. But phenoms pick up on it very.
The reason why I believe that Zion was tired in that short amount of time is because he put everything he could in that little stretch. Like, this dude's been on the shelf all season. And I'm pretty sure the first time he thought to himself, when I get out there, I'm just going to go fucking crazy. I'm just going to lose my damn mind, and I'm going to give it everything I got. And he fucking tired himself out pretty quickly. And this is the problem with the weight, is that it takes your stamina. It takes a lot to be in shape for a 30-minute game. And right now, do I think Zion can play 30 minutes in the NBA? No. I don't even think he can play 20, if I'm being honest. But, if this is supposed to be a phenom, if this is supposed to be the next big thing, we need him to be able to stay out there on the floor. We need him to. I mean, he doesn't seem injured. He was hopping around and he didn't look injured. He just looked like he got fatigued really fast, and that could be because of the size. He has an unfortunate body type.
Very quickly. He is a better shooter than Blake Griffin will ever be. He is stronger than Charles Barkley, and he is faster than Karl Malone.
All right, two things. First, let's look at this dumbass player that's sitting there doing air guitars on the side of the fucking court. I saw this earlier, and I was like, why is this kid air guitaring in the middle of a fucking NBA game? But then I understand this is the way these kids are now. But the second thing is, it's not hard to be a better shooter than Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin is a serviceable shooter now, and it took him damn near 10 years to get there. Okay? So it's not harder to be, a fucking better shooter than Blake Griffin. Is he stronger than Charles Barkley? I'm not going to say he is. I'm going to say that the kids nowadays are a lot more athletic. They're a lot better coordinated than a lot of the players used to be. And it could be because as technology advances, these players get a lot more physically superior to the guys that came before them. Now, there are the rare occasions like a Michael Jordan or a Dominique Wilkins or Charles Barkley who has the size, not the size, but like has the athletic ability and the strength to set themselves apart from everybody else. And let's not get it fucked up. Charles Barkley, he is a great player. Like, this dude is a great player, and I would say Zion is a form of Charles Barkley. So I don't know if I would go out on a limb to say he's stronger than Charles Barkley. And he also said that he's faster than Karl Malone. See, again, like, that's an empty statement because Karl Malone was not known as a fast player. Like he wasn't known as a fast player. Karl Malone was not a fast player. He wasn't known as a fast player. They didn't say, you know what? You know one thing about that Karl Malone? I mean, that dude got speed. Like, they never said that. So I don't even know why this is a talking point. But let's go.
5 or 6 NBA players in my life, and I've been watching this league for 40 years. I'm talking about the highly skilled guys, not Ben Wallace. There's been 5 or 6 highly skilled guys that just look different. Shaq, Barkley, LeBron, Karl Malone, and Zion. Zion doesn't even look like an NBA body. You know how I say Odell Beckham's the first NBA guy in the NFL?
And I said this some time ago. I said that Zion is probably so used to playing at this weight that it's just normal for him to play at this weight. It's not normal for us to see it because now he's on a bigger stage, but it's probably normal for him to play at this weight. And he's just comfortable playing at this weight. There is a chance, and I'm saying this, there is a chance that if Zion loses weight or if he tones his body up more and he drops the pounds or he turns it into muscle, there is a chance it could affect his playing ability. And I'm not saying that it would make him unplayable. I'm saying, like, it could affect his shooting. It could have, because when you get used to playing a certain way, when you get used to playing at a certain body type, when your body type changes, it takes an adjustment period. A lot longer than an off season to get used to it.
Zion's one of the few NFL guys in the NBA. He's running up the court. He doesn't look like a tight end. He looks like a defensive tackle. And in a league now that is 3-ball centric, very finesse, can't touch anybody, a lot of skinny 219-pound centers, and guys who can shoot threes, he is going to bully his way to 24 a night. Never forget this.
And the reason why that there's a bunch of 217-pound centers is because they need to be quick on the floor. Because if you're not a quick center that could either defend at an almost uncanny athletic level, like if you can't defend quickly or play offense quick enough, you won't be on the floor. This is why Brook Lopez had to learn how to develop a three-point shot. This is why you see a lot of centers that's been around for at least 10 years, if not 10 years, maybe going on 10 years, that played one style of basketball, has to change the way they play to be able to keep up with the league, where the league is today. And yeah, there is no touching, there is no physicality in the game as much as it used to be. There is none. So Zion can pretty much get anywhere on the floor unimposed as he wants. It's kind of like LeBron now, man. Like, and I'm not saying that even if you could be physical, that you could stop LeBron from getting where he wants. But I think that with the game being freed up the way it is, LeBron pretty much can do whatever the fuck he want on the floor. There's really not much anybody can do about it, because the moment you try to get a little physical, they call technical fouls and all this other shit. And I think Zion is going to benefit dramatically from that. And we got to stop looking at the total numbers as, oh, this player was better than this player and was better than this player, because different eras, man. You can't really compare eras. This is why I wouldn't say that he's better than Karl Malone. This is why I wouldn't say that he's better than Charles Barkley. Because it's just different eras, man. It's different eras.
About LeBron James. LeBron's first 5 years in the league, I remember going on the air and saying, I know he's great, but he bores me. It's just a freight train. He's running over everybody. Then he developed an inside game after being...
And I noticed that. And then when people started saying it more, I felt better, because I felt that maybe I was being too hard on LeBron. But I said LeBron James is one of the most egregious examples of offensive fouling basketball I've ever seen in my life, because this dude would literally lower his shoulder and fucking ram his way into the paint. And I'm saying, if I'm a ref, I'm calling offensive foul, man. Like you can't run people over. You can't run through people. He still kind of does it now, but it's not as bad as it used to be, because now he's able to get his shot from outside now. So now he doesn't, I guess he doesn't feel the need to fucking bully his way into the paint anymore. And now the game is freed up. He doesn't have to bully his way to the paint.
Humiliated against the Mavericks in the championship. Then he developed a three-point game. He's always been a good distributor. But Zion Williamson, that is what a phenom looks like. The criticisms were silly. Well, I don't know about, he's never going to be able to shoot. He doesn't need to be a great shooter to get 24 a night and sell tickets. He looks different. Sometimes you just have to not outthink the room. First of all, he's like...
All right, Zion is one of those players that can get his numbers. I know he can get his numbers. But the thing is, and this is the problem that we have with Anthony Davis, is that they put up great numbers, but they don't win. Now, is this going to be a case where we're judging him based on his success, as team success, or are we basing it just on individual success? Because this is what we did with LeBron. Some people were basing it on playoff success, championship success, his team success. But then there were other people that was like, well, you know what? He's the greatest because his numbers is just superior to everybody else's. Are we judging Zion based on his impact on the team and helping them win games, versus him just out there and we're just looking at him by himself, nobody else? We're just judging him based on his performance. Because if Zion could get this team to the playoffs, maybe if not this year, the next year, if he could turn his team into somewhat of a contender, because they have the pieces to do it. Like, can he do it, though? That's the question. That's what I would want to know.
What, 19? Were you refined at 19? I didn't really think I was a good broadcaster until about 33. At 19, he's going to be a totally refined basketball player. LeBron's the best high school player ever, and it took him about...
And again, and I'm sorry to keep stopping as much as I am, but and this is the argument that I had with Jason Tatum, because people, when Jason Tatum, his rookie year, when he played the way he did, people looked at this guy like, okay, they might have a future superstar in their hands. And then when he had a down year last year, people were like, yeah, well, I don't think he's as good as we thought he was initially. And now this year, people are expecting him to make a turn, just like Jaylen Brown. Like, why all the flip-floppiness with them? But, I mean, with Zion, we're just taking it one game at a time, and we're expecting great things out of him. I mean, it feels like anything I say, it sounds like I'm kind of trying to prevent Zion from, I guess, being great. But that's not the case. I need this kid to be viewed with objective eyes. And he needs to be objectively viewed. Otherwise, he's going to fall the trap of Ben Simmons where people told Ben Simmons that he was great so much that he felt like he didn't need to change his game. And Ben does not feel like he needs to change his game. This is why I think the Philadelphia 76ers, if they even make it, will lose in the second round damn near every time. Now, occasionally they will get to the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm not saying they won't, but I don't see them as championship winners unless Ben Simmons changes the way he plays.
6 years where you were like, yeah, he's close, but he still has to get an inside game. Of course he doesn't have it all buttoned up yet. The other thing is his shot wasn't broken. It just needed to be tweaked. Ben Simmons shot, Markelle Fultz shot, Russell Westbrook shot. Those are broken shots. Derrick Rose's shot.
I want to see if Zion's shot is going to fall when the defenses actually start playing up on him. They start getting into his face. And, like those playoff series where it's high-pressure situations, those clutch, those games where you have to be clutch late in the game. I want to see all these things. I want to see if that shot is going to fall for him the way that they fell. Well, not exactly the way they fell for him last night, but at a high level. Because to be honest, this could just be an example of testosterone. Like you're so fucking excited, you're so energetic that you play a lot better than you expected because you're just, it's the excitement. I don't know. I'm trying to be objective here.
This was just a jumper that needed to be tweaked. Even Ray Allen came into the league and wasn't a dead-eye three shooter. Ray Allen was athletic and became a great three-point shooter. Shooting's the one thing I almost always feel can be tweaked. But don't outthink the room. Sometimes there's a physical element to you that signals a star. Tyreek Hill of the Kansas City Chiefs. He's just too damn fast to cover. It's going to work if you give him a decent quarterback. Don't outthink the room. You can't keep up with him. Deion Sanders, he's just too fast. Zion's just too big. In a league now with no power forwards, 224-pound centers, and a bunch of guys, lanky guys who can hit threes. The power forward's basically gone. To me, Zion's a center. He's a small ball lineup center. If Kayvon Looney had that talent,
I gotta say this. I don't think he's a center at all. If anything, he's an oversized small forward.
He could go to the Warriors. You put him in with Clay and Steph and Draymond and Zion's your center. That's what he looks like in today's modern NBA. So, you saw it all. He was
Although I think he's supremely athletic, if you put a 7 foot, 200 and 80 pound, 90 pound guy on him that is good in the post, like a Jokic, I think Jokic could take advantage of him defensively. And that's not a knock on Zion. I just don't think that he has the characteristics to play the center position.
B12 shot to the NBA last night. The NBA's been sagging. There's not a lot of urgency. LeBron's in his 17th year. It looks like the two LA teams are way better than everybody else. He is exactly what the NBA needs. By the way, here's how big of a phenom he is. And sometimes I always used to use the rule with my late mother, Patricia. The difference between a star and a superstar is my mom knows superstars. My mom didn't know who Derek Jeter was. She knew who A-Rod was.
That's not the difference between a star and a superstar. That just means one player is more recognizable than the other. That doesn't mean that player is better than the other players. Okay? That just means that to be a superstar, you have to have the ability to, in big moments, in big games, to be that guy. And it took LeBron, seriously, a while to be that guy. In order to be a superstar, you would have to be somebody that like in a pivotal playoff series, like a fucking Eastern Western Conference Finals or NBA Finals, that you are a huge X factor. Those are superstars. Stars are guys that they play well here, they play well there. They don't play well every night. Sometimes they'll be invisible. Sometimes you won't even notice them on the floor. But a superstar is a guy that he imposes he makes his presence known. That's a superstar. And I don't think Zion's a superstar, not even close. But That's it, pretty much, man. Like, I mean, it's just Colin Cowherd going off on one of his LeBron tangents where this player is just so great. There's nothing. We've never experienced anything like this before. This kid's unbelievable. Isn't it the same thing that people said about Lamar Jackson? And we seen what happened to him. Like, we see what happened to him. Like, is this really is this what we're gonna do now? This kid plays less than 20 minutes, and we're already acting like this is the greatest less than 20 minutes we've ever seen ever in the history of basketball. Okay. But that's it, man. That's all I got. That's all I got. All right.